What is up, what is good guys and everybody else? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to House of K, your boy Fuller, and we're back with another reaction video. This time I'll be reacting to Noxus Will Rise by Shambits Gaming. This was recommended to me by somebody in the comments. I think it was Trollomir, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just curious to see exactly what this is about. I've never seen any of this dude's videos before, so this is pretty exciting to see. I hope the videos are good. I hope they're informative, and I hope I can learn a lot more about Noxus. You know, it is probably my favorite group in the game, my favorite country, I guess, in the game. So yeah, pretty excited. Let's go. Oh, and if you have suggestions on League of Legends related videos that you want me to do that are not in any specific order, or if they are in order, just put them in that order anyways, and leave them in the comments. I will take them down and see how I can go through all of them. Even if you have already told me about them but I have not done it yet, you should leave them in the comments below. That way I can keep track of everything all together. So probably in the next 3 more videos or so, I will be taking down the list of videos that you guys would want me to react to related to League of Legends. So without further ado, let's just get into this. I hope you enjoy this reaction. If you do, please leave a like, sub to the channel, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts were on this video. And if you have not checked out the original video, I will put a link in the description below so you guys can check it out and support the original creator. And yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's go.
Hi everyone, this new series will be looking at each and every faction that we know about on the world of RIOT, covering their history, characters, cultures, and whatever else is interesting about them. There's been a ton of rich lore added to the universe in recent years, and in the run-up to the MMO, it's only getting bigger and more complicated. So I thought I'd try to explain as much as I can to you all without things getting too confusing. All of this information comes from official sources, taken from short stories,
when did
comics,
this video come out?
The World of RIOT Lorebook, Arcane, and a few other places.
Oh, 2021.
Timestamps are in the description, so let's start with an overview of Noxus. Noxus is a powerful empire based in the northern part of the world, with territory in Ionia, Shrima, and the Freljord. They hold a reputation for brutal and bloody conquest, forever attempting to expand their borders in the pursuit of a unified world under a single Noxian banner.
That's Noxus for you right there.
Nothing matters more to Noxus than the growth of the empire, and it is the duty of every Noxian citizen to help with that goal. To its enemies, Noxus is a barbaric nation. They are ruthless, killing kings, queens, lords, citizens, farmers,
I remember that.
Without mercy.
I remember
Those who
that.
accept Noxian leadership, however, see a different side to Noxus, a Noxus that nurtures and cultivates its people, empowering them to achieve their highest potential and typically giving them a better life.
True.
It is undeniable that the Noxians look after their own, whatever your origins might be.
True. That's straight facts. That's why I fuck with these dudes.
That many nations simply submit to Noxian rule. If you choose to bend the knee, then you won't just keep your life, but you'll possibly trade it in for one with a greater purpose.
True.
That said, some do rebel against the might of Noxus, and we see an example of this
Fools, my G.
where his former love interest feels that the war crimes committed in Ionia are too great to ignore. The culture of Noxus is based around the principles of strength, and any citizen, whether farmer or noble, can rise to a position of power and respect if they have the right aptitude. Darius and Draven, 2 orphans who grew up on the streets of Basile,
they were orphans,
given new
actually.
lives when Noxus invaded. As orphans, they lived a tough life, but under Noxus, they were refined to become what they are today. Deadly soldiers with power and prestige.
Damn right, fam. Opportunities.
Strength is not one-dimensional in Noxus and can come in many forms. Soldiers are respected, but so are craftsmen, political leaders and traders. They all come together to create a stronger nation that can topple its enemies. The idea of Noxian strength is split into 3 principles. You have vision, strength, and guile. Noxus is led by a council of 3 equal individuals, each representing and embodying one of the principles of strength. Swain speaks for vision as the political leader of Noxus. Darius, as the hand of Noxus, embodies the might of its armies. And the third, an unknown individual, who leads up the Noxian intelligence and spy network, represents Guile. There are several noble houses in Noxus that have held power since its earliest days. Their continuous lust for power has led to several large events in Noxian history. The most recent and perhaps the most impactful was the revolution against Emperor Darkwill, which saw Jericho Swain take over the Empire and install the Triferix Council, which we just spoke about. There is also a secret society of sorts in the Black Rose, led by LeBlanc. They are a political group that has been manipulating the Noxian throne for many hundreds of years, including the now dead Emperor Darkwill.
Do they still do that
Today,
now,
the
though?
Triferix
I doubt
Council and the Black Rose members are in somewhat of an uneasy truce, but that might have to be its own video. The military of Noxus, despite boasting to be the largest army on the planet, is not forced to conduct itself in any particular way. Each warband, of which there are many, are free to wage war in the way that suits them best. Some warbands will be experts at sieging towns, some at guerrilla warfare, and others may be strong on the ocean. These
Okay, I mean,
talents are
that makes
embraced and
sense. I mean,
celebrated, and gives Noxus one of the most diverse armies on the
depending
planet.
on the situation,
Those
right?
who aren't fighters get similar treatment, with every citizen given the opportunity to shine and do what they're good at, as long as it contributes to the war machine in some way. The forges of Noxus are said to never cool, as they churn out weapons and armour in vast quantities for their war hosts spread across the planet.
I can
Noxian
see
equipment
that.
is the very definition of function over form, with every hook, spike and edge having its purpose. In recent years,
And yet it
Noxus have
still
also
looks
tried to
fire,
extend
bro.
Chemtech from Zorn. This has proven to be a powerful addition to the Noxian arsenal, but
Damn.
there are those who believe the cost of using such technology is just too high.
So,
Another
so they have
important
the
group of
Chemtech,
Noxians
now
are
they're
the
also
Warmasons.
going
These
up
guys
with
are
the
scouts as they are
Hextech.
builders, and venture into lands unclaimed by Noxus and oversee the construction of bridges, roads, pillars, buildings and things like that. Anything that Noxus really needs to keep its supply lines open and its dominion of other nations in check. Lone War Mason scouting your land is usually the first sign of a Noxian invasion. As for the most
That's your
and
sign
loyal
to
soldiers
fucking-
in Noxus,
well,
they are given a
just
position
prepare for a
in
better
the
life, I
Trifarian
guess.
Legion, an elite force led by the hand of Noxus himself, Darius. They were formed when Swain took over in recent years, and whilst relatively new, have already been involved in campaigns in Ionia, Demacia, and the Freljord. You do not need to be
they
Noxian
also went to the
born join
Freljord.
the Legion. Captain Farron, for example, originates from Zorn, but was considered strong enough and formally recruited. A dark fortress called the Immortal Bastion sits at the heart of Noxus
The Immortal
and was
Bastion.
built by a necrotic warlord known as
It's just a
Mordecai,
dope ass name.
roughly 300
Sorry.
years before Noxus came into being. The Noxians moved in after overthrowing Mordekaiser, and it has since grown far beyond the original walls of the Immortal Bastion.
After
The Bastion itself is a dark and twisted maze of streets built to confuse any would-be attackers.
Whoa.
Many parts of the Immortal Bastion have also been lost to time as the Noxians built upon the old structures that were already there. Jericho Swain believes there are dark secrets hidden below the Bastion.
Probably.
That will travel to the centermost part of the city.
Probably.
Outside of the walls of the Bastion, however, the city is varied and diverse, with people from all over the world bringing their unique talents and cultures to the capital. The people of Noxus, then, are as diverse as you would expect from a nation that seems to accept everyone. There are humans from all over the world, which bring a variety of culture and fighting styles to the nation.
That's the way it should
One of my
be.
favourite
Let's
lead
go.
characters, Samira, is
Man, I fucks
actually
with
from
Noxus, man.
Australia. There are plenty of Yordles
I
and
do.
Steyr in Noxus as well, with some other races that are typically viewed negatively in other parts of the world. Auric Glinthorn, for example, even holds
Ooh.
a position of prestige in the military, despite being a Minotaur. Although
That's a
it must be
Minotaur?
said that I'm not sure how common
That did not look like a Minotaur to
in
me.
society.
But it looked cool.
The history of Noxus goes back to the Rune Wars 1,100 years ago, and as you can imagine, there's a lot to cover here, so I will do it in its own video later this week. What I will say for now is that Noxus is the only nation on Runeterra, at least that I'm aware of, that possesses and distributes a proper calendar. They actually use the term "bring the calendar" as a sort of positive euphemism for martial conquest.
Do they also use
But
the
because
founding
Noxian
of
calendar
Noxus
is the only
as year
timeline
zero?
we really have, it's one, biased towards Noxus, and two, incomplete, as they only really care about Noxian history.
Hey, you need to sprinkle
There are
in a
many
little
great
bit
events
of
reflecting on it.
propaganda in
They
there.
just don't go into much detail. And that brings me on to the end of the video. Hopefully that's a good enough introduction to the nation of Noxus for you. If there's anything that I missed or got wrong, then please don't be afraid to drop a comment and just let me know. But that's all for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.
Peace. Yeah, pretty interesting video, man. Pretty interesting. I like the clips that he used, at least the artwork that he used to show us. Yeah, those are very interesting. A lot of them that I've never seen before, which is pretty cool. The history of Noxus itself is interesting as a whole, and just knowing what Noxus is all about, and how it functions and its people and all that. It's always interesting to me. Like I said, I fucks with Noxus, fam. Noxus is the way. Honestly speaking. But yeah, so the only ones who use like a calendar. That's cool. Wait, maybe I misunderstood that. Does it mean that even Piltover doesn't use calendars? Because I would expect them to use calendars, right? I mean, they have what was that called? That national day of days, that national, was it like a holiday or something like that? That was in Arcane. If they have that type of national day, then that means they should have a calendar, right? Otherwise, how do they keep track? So maybe I misunderstood that. You guys can let me know, like maybe I misunderstood the meaning of that. But yeah, anyways. They just need to add in like a healthy diet of propaganda in there. Just oh fam, no, I'm not gonna hate on them, bro. I'm not even gonna hate on them for that. Like every single country does it. It is what it is. But yeah. Anyways, these guys are amazing, honestly speaking. Okay, so he said like their weapons are functional, like a function over form or something like that, right? So even though they're made to be extremely functional weapons, they still look so cool though. Like honestly speaking, they still look cool. So it's possible to make shit that looks cool and also be functional, not just one or the other, which is great. But yeah, anyways, most of the other stuff I think I already knew. Like them being very inclusive, and the whole loving war situations and all that type of stuff. I think I knew most of that. The Triferius Council, the Triferian Legion, is it? Yeah, I think I knew most of that. But yeah, there were some things here and there that I did not know, which is pretty cool. Anyways, I think there should be some other videos by him as well. So I guess I will be adding him to my source of LOL lore, which is great. Now at least I have some extra, sources of information, and yeah, it's amazing. Anyways, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please do leave a like, sub to the channel, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts were on this video. And yeah, later.